Sharpie?
No, I used actual scissors.
Oh,
when it's not gelled, it's all messed up.
You're like, hey, it's not gelled. It's all messed up.
Hey, you, come on, sit down. You're sitting at the grown-ups table. I am your host, Jesse Pimpinella, and as my partner in crime,
John Jacobs.
I wanted to do the lamentation and the Snyder cut. Like, anytime Wonder Woman walked on the screen, it was like,
well, yeah, they do that whole, like,
a whole bunch.
Like opera or, like, you know, when they record, like, symphonic music, they have, like, a choir do that or whatever.
I could have been taking a shit and that music went off. Like, as soon as the water hits the water, plop.
You know, I'm sure you could rig a sensor up to do that for you.
I would do that. I would rig it. It'd be like those arcade games where you shoot the basketball and it falls on that little sensor.
Oh, yeah.
Get one of those. Just gotta make sure my deuce is heavy enough. But before we go any further, today is a big day. We're gonna be talking about the Zack Snyder cut. Yes, we're very excited about this. But before we go any further, make sure you like and subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you like this page and also share this live video. Bring in your friends. We love to hear your comments. We're going to be talking about some really awesome fan stuff today because without fans, the Snyder cut would not exist today. No, so make sure you share that. We have guests Darth and Vance on. We're going to be talking about the difference between Whedon's cut versus Snyder cut, Zack Snyder's true vision, whether you liked it or not, Superman, the return of Batman, the Batman we know, and much, much more, and characters introduced. So stick around. You're sitting at the grown-ups table. And without further ado, let's bring our guests out right now. Please give it up for Vance and Darth!
Woo!
Woo! Thank you so much for you gentlemen joining us today. How are you both doing?
Doing all right. Had the got my first shot. So now the government can track me.
Bill Gates as they should. Bill
Gates is got his black helicopters hovering around my place all the time.
Darth should be tracked at all times. The government should always know where Darth is and
I agree.
What he is up to.
He's a nuisance because he's always poking the bear with this Batman comments at the end of all our shows. Yeah. Poking the bear.
He is.
Hey,
he's a bear poker.
To be honest,
I'll let you know once I start caring about that movie. It will be never.
Oh, we're gonna be talking about a Batmobile, all right.
Oh, and we're gonna have you on the episode where we talk about the Batman.
Don't ruin that episode for me.
So we can hear how great you actually loved it, because that's what's going to happen.
God, now I have to see that movie?
Yes.
We're all going.
By the time it comes out, we'll all be good. So we'll all go see it. That's fine.
We'll all go see it. We
Plus,
gotta do it.
We need a new movie group anyway, since our other one broke up for reasons. So we need a new movie group.
Can I be the new guy that causes the group to break up?
No, you're
all
in the group.
Shit.
You can't be the new guy. You've been in it from the beginning.
No, I just want to be the guy that breaks up the group.
No, don't be. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Well, right now, let's jump right into it, everybody. Let's get right to the talk. Let's talk about Zack Snyder's Snyder cut. Now, let me zoom in the picture a little bit. All right. So, anyways, this is a massive achievement. I mean, this is basically fans telling the studio what they want, and they got it. They got it in a 4-hour count. Now, real quickly, I'll just give we'll each give a 10-second review, just so everybody knows where we all stand. For me, I thought it was epic. I might be biased because of Batman, because I'm a big Frank Miller fan. This is a Frank Miller Batman. But true, great story. I hand it off to John now.
Yeah, I agree with Jesse. I mean, comparing this to the original, it's miles better. Just an all-around better film. Yes, it's long, but to Jesse's point, it is an epic. And in my opinion, it pays off in the end. The last hour is so strong and just so monumental that it made up for the shortcomings that I felt that it had. So I very much enjoyed it.
There you go. Darth.
God, this movie was long. It was so long.
It was long.
I broke it up into like 2 different sittings.
Okay.
And it was still like 1 o'clock in the morning by the time I finished it. That's how long it was. But it was good. It was much, much better than the original.
Yeah.
I still have problems with it, but every movie I'll have problems with. But other than that, I thought it was a great movie. And I can't wait to rewatch it in black and white.
It's like it's a new movie.
It'll be a brand new movie, only Kurosawa style.
No, I will pass on the black and white version.
All right, Vance, hit us up.
I think I will give this a rating of slightly better than okay. I guess if we had to do a star system out of 5, it'd be 2.5. Certainly, I would say, and I think this is part of the overall response, certainly better than the original 2017 JL. It had its moments, as Bartholomew said. Yes, it's long. It takes quite a bit to go through. I am a fan of some extremely long movies, so I'm thoroughly prepared for it. But I think we could have probably shorn some time off. Again, there's some real opportunities when it came to story coming in, and we already knew that going in. But I think, to like John's point, that last hour really kind of saved the bacon of the whole.
Definitely. I was good with the first 4 hours. It was the last 2 minutes that just did me in.
It was. Here's the thing. This was a DC wet dream for me, man. Like, it was the type of thing where I told myself, look, if it lasts longer than 4 hours, call to your doctor. Like, I was that excited for this thing, man.
Now, did you have a boner the whole time?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I had a boner. I had to call the doctor. Didn't you get what I said there? 4 hours. I was scared.
It was, again, the last 2 minutes did him in.
That's where Jesse finished finally.
Made him soft.
As soon as Martian Manhunter took off, I was done.
Yeah, we need that exact timestamp when you finished, so we can all experience that later.
Okay,
yeah,
we will.
Bad kids.
We'll have a watch party with the black and white one.
Oh, please.
We'll just do that. We'll have a watch party with the black and white, and we'll figure it out from there. But cool. let's tackle into this right now. So let's get right into it. The Whedon versus Snyder cut. Obviously, the movie difference. The biggest difference you could see is that there was only a half hour of Snyder material in the 2017 version, and it was 90 minutes reshot. That's why Whedon got a writer's credit for the movie. But what were your what?
Director's credit.
Oh no. Zack still had it.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, no. That's why Zack was so pissed to have his name still on it.
Yeah.
It was like almost someone. It's like if someone like stole your homework that was amazing and then fucked it up as hard as they could and then just left your name on it.
Well, it's basically what happened with Superman 2. They filmed both of them at the same time for one epic film, realized they need to release them as two separate. They released one because of all the drama on set. The Salkins axed Richard Donner, brought in Richard Lester. He did tons of reshoots so that he could get his name as director and they could boot Richard Donner off. And then, 25 years later, he got to do the Donner cut, which is fantastic. Watch it. So there you go.
There you go. But let's go into Darth segment with this, because I think this is great because a lot of new characters were introduced.
Well, hold on. We need to back up here real quick. To back up. So there's a couple significant changes to this film that need to be talked about.
Let's talk about it.
Aside from the fact that we have X percentage of scenes that we've never seen, which was just a breath of fresh air, we have to look at how these films are shot. There's one scene in particular I'd like to reference where Lois Lane is talking to Martha Kent, and in the Joss Whedon cut, it's framed really tight around Amy Adams. It's brightly lit. It looks like she's in like an office building. And it looks like just kind of one of those generic like static shots. But in Snyder's cut, it's an establishing shot that's wide, so you see both of the characters talking. The foreground is darkly lit. The background is brightly lit. There's a beam of light coming through the window in front of them. It's just a much more intimate shot. And we see that repeated throughout the Snyder cut compared to the Whedon cut. And to me, that completely changes the tone of the film. We also see the vast majority of comedy removed from this film, which I don't always hate comedy in superhero films, and I'm sure Darth is going to eviscerate me for this, but I loved Ragnarok for that, because I liked the comedy of Ragnarok. I know not everybody did, but I did. So
the second half of the screen is going no on Ragnarok.
yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I understand.
I liked Ragnarok.
Light me up in the comments. That's fine. But I appreciated the removal of that silly humor that just never fit even in the 2017 model. And then the third biggest change in this also is, and we're going to lead into this then with all of our subsequent topics, is that our heroes are doing more in this film and they're acting more like themselves. They have more to contribute and things happen better because of that. So one example I'll give is in the Joss Whedon cut. What happened to Flash at the end? He pushed some homeless family in a truck.
Yeah,
awesome. What happened in the Snyder cut?
He gentrified that area.
Spoiler alert. If you didn't know we're talking about spoilers, this whole thing, but just think. Okay, so in the Snyder cut, the Flash fucking went back in goddamn time like he's supposed to like reset so they can fix, because they failed. The mother boxes merged and the Earth got wiped out, but Flash was able to not only outrun that shit, but then, to Sheriff's point, he turned back time. And it was beautiful. Oh, yeah, it's in my head now. And I love the way they shot that, too, because it reminded me of season 1 of the CW Flash, where Tom Cavanaugh is talking to Barry Allen. He's like, you got to run faster. You got to run faster than you can. You got to challenge yourself. Like he's in his ear, and it shows Barry running, and he's listening, and it's pumping him up. I loved that feeling of that first season in Flash, and it's never going to be replicated again. But they did a pretty good job in this movie. You feel the Flash pushing himself faster and further than he ever has before, and he goes so fast that he's able to reverse time so that Superman and Cyborg can separate the boxes. And like that's what he should have fucking did. Instead, we got him pushing a goddamn truck with people in it. Like, right there, that kind of overall, but I mean by those differences between the two cuts and the tone, the presentation, all of that. Darth, go ahead.
To defend Whedon's cut a little bit here with that.
All right, light him up, everybody. Light him the fuck up. Light him up.
Let the man talk.
The number one goal for the Flash was never a real fighter, so he was not going to be too much of a help against all the parademons, against the main bad guy, which Steppenwolf, couldn't remember his name for some stupid reason. So he is a good guy, and one of the big things is Superman and Flash. They don't really kill, so they were on civilian support. Save as many people as possible. In the Whedon cut, there were a lot of civilians in that area. Why did they stay there? No one knows why.
Nobody knows. So the movie can happen.
Right. So I liked the fact that was his job. Get the civilians clear, do your thing, run really fast, do your thing, and come back and help when you can. Once everyone is out, then come back. I liked that. It shows their humanity and the fact that they're heroes, not just a group of mercenary thugs going out to beat up the bad guy.
Okay, so I'll give you that as you have presented
but
it.
I will say, I have things in here going into my topic. I guess we'll get into my topic a little bit later, but a couple of things I said that needed to remove that was removed from the Snyder cut was that Russian family and all of the civilians from the fight scene.
And
because it made no sense that they were there. They needed to be removed. There was no reason. We didn't put them in there to give everyone that, they're heroes. That whole, they need to save everybody. That's the only reason why they were in there. And to give a little bit of comic relief. Flash is saving 2 or 3 people, and he looks over and sees Superman saving, a building full of people. Yeah, it's a good haha moment, but didn't need to happen.
No, I do agree. I do agree with what you're saying in terms of that aspect, but I still think it was better with this. And even though Flash may not have the physical strength, if you will, his speed is also a weapon, and it adds a certain degree of power to him that he could also use, kind of as he did. So I don't think that he needed to be used as guy who saves civilians. I get your argument, though. I accept.
But even in the Whedon cut, he goes like, "I'm not a fighter." And
then
Batman
why are
came
you
up-
here, Flash?
And Batman came up and said, "Then save everybody."
I get that. I still like this version better because he was
So
in
do
it,
I.
and he was way more useful. What did you think about the little scene with
Iris.
Iris? Sorry, guys, I was drawing a blank there. It felt kind of thrown in, but kind of cool at the same time. I don't know. I mean,
They tried to give everyone an origin story.
yes.
And pretty much, if you really know Flash, he pretty much does everything for Iris. So Iris is his true love. I love the fact that they added Iris in there. Give Flash a little bit more of a character. Introduce her in the Justice League movie, so when we get to meet her in the Flashpoint movie, it's already an established character.
Oh, she's the girl he saved in a 10-second clip. Cool. She's in this movie.
Yeah. You're gonna remember it though, John.
I mean, I remember it because I already
People
know.
don't remember that.
My
People
dad's
don't.
not going to know who the hell Iris is when he goes to
Who's
watch
this
that
Irish
movie.
character?
Well, they can also do a quick flashback, but might as well introduce her now, just like when they introduced Willem Dafoe's character in this movie. He wasn't in this movie. They introduced him in Aquaman. And
Wet Thor. So
Wet Thor.
let's take a break from this. Jesse, if you want to change the graphic, we're kind of into the characters one now. So Darth has this funny thing that he started calling Thor Wet Thor. So Darth, where did that come from?
Watch Aquaman and tell me that it's not Thor underwater.
I mean, it is, but it's more like Tomb Raider, in my opinion, than Thor. There's a lot of quest fetching in that movie, and it felt very Tomb Raider-like to me.
I got Indiana Jones vibed a little bit.
Yeah, there you go, a little bit Indy.
Aquaman is not a Thor-type character. In the comic books, he is not a Thor-type character. And by casting Jason Momoa, you make him a Thor-type character.
I mean, he is a beautiful man, though, so it works.
Yes.
I'm okay with this version of Aquaman.
I think with anything, you're always going to get that type of character change. I mean, they even did that with Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, none of the characters are really like that in the comic books. They're more serious and more. But now that's like the more accepted realm, because when Guardians was going to come out, people thought that was going to be Marvel's first bomb because it's a talking tree. I mean, they thought that was going to be it, but they found a way to make it funny, reinvent the characters, and make them very likable, and that's what made them successful. And I think
they had Chris Pratt chiseled with his shirt off, so that helped too.
So if they would have done a traditional Aquaman, it would have failed horribly.
Oh yeah,
they needed to do.
There you go, Ryan.
Yes, Ryan. They needed to do something different. And the Thor movies and that Thor physique was very popular with a lot of people, and so they went with it. Yeah, and more power to them.
Yeah. Vance, what are your thoughts on this? Let's get Vance's thoughts here.
Well, do we all agree that Aquaman was a piece of shit movie in general? I mean,
no.
The bottom half agrees with you.
None of us agree.
I agree.
I'll admit its faults, but I'm not saying it's a bad film. I enjoyed it.
I mean, it just seemed fucking stupid from beginning to end, like Ragnarok.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I'm glad Darth and I are on the same parallel here, because we represent the reasonable side of the conversation.
I really thought you were going to say we represent the Lollipop Guild. I really thought that was coming.
I like what you're showing.
Lollipop Guild.
Wow, that was pretty on point.
Thank you.
Let's just pause for a second and talk about how accurate Jesse's Munchkin impression was, because that was pretty damn
as he was singing, you know.
He even had the lip curl of that guy.
We represent the
Like kicking
Lollipop
his feet.
Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild. Just gotta get it like that. Gotta get it in. Pop it down.
Wow. So we're divided on Aquaman, which is fine. But at least we're all aligned on that this film was, in fact, better. But Vance, did you like having Willem Dafoe show up in this versus being introduced in Aquaman?
It didn't really make any great difference for me, quite
okay.
honestly. It does kind of, it does help lead Aquaman in a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, that would have made much more sense if we had seen that the first time. Then, when he shows up in Aquaman, it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
You're right.
Yeah. I thought it actually made Aquaman make a little bit more sense. And the fact that Snyder had everything to do with Aquaman. And the fact that, like how when that movie starts, him and Mira don't know each other. They just kind of heard of each other. They kind of seen each other in passing. This movie kind of set the precedent for them just knowing each other in passing. While Whedon's cut made them feel way more familiar. So when you watch the Aquaman movie, you're like, whoa, why does it feel like they're meeting each other again?
Yeah.
It was very confusing. But this movie, I felt Volko, while he was a little bit forced into it, it allowed the Mira stuff to make sense. That was just my thought on the process of that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Darth, what was another character that was introduced in this film?
Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, tell us
love
about
Martian
that.
Manhunter.
Yes.
So there was at the end of Man of Steel, there was a bunch of hullabaloo about the character being Martian Manhunter, the general. Yeah. And they came out later and said, yes, that is actually Martian Manhunter. So I did like the fact that they confirmed that. I like the fact that he's out there manipulating things in the background.
Yep.
Making sure that Lois Lane, the world needs the Lois Lane also. I thought it was a great line, and it's true. That Lois Lane just kind of hiding out, being in mourning, does the world no good. They need to have her out there doing her journalistic stuff and keeping the world safe. Yeah. I thought that was great. And then, of course, the very end where he introduces himself to Batman, and he's just like, "I'm out here. I'm going to fight with you guys. Just want to introduce myself," and leaves. Total badass. Great. We already talked about Iris. We already talked about Willem Dafoe's character. A couple things. We all know my favorite DC characters are the Green Lanterns. So we got a little bit more with the Green Lantern in the fight scene against Darkseid.
How'd you feel
a lot
about
of people.
This will bum you out, Darth. I'm going to tell you this. I just read this report today. The final part of the movie where he meets Martian Manhunter, that wasn't supposed to happen.
I've got it in here. Hold on.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna get to it.
But Darth, real quick before you get there, though, because I know you're a huge Green Lantern fan, and we talked about this off camera already. But how did you feel about the flashback scene that actually showed, and what my opinion would be a much better Green Lantern on live action than we've seen before? So,
I'm all for it. Give me a Green Lantern. Give me a Green Lantern movie. We're getting a Green Lantern Corps TV series on HBO Max eventually, which is going to be awesome. But give me more Green Lantern. Also, a lot of people missed this the first time. I missed it the first time. I had to be told about it. There is another Green Lantern in this movie. Kilowog actually makes an appearance in this movie. He's dead. Superman kills him. In the Cyborg nightmare sequence, laying at the feet of Superman is Kilowog. Go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now.
And then, of course, as Jesse was mentioning here, the seventh member of the Justice League was supposed to be Jon Stewart. It did come out. Snyder almost walked off the set when they said. He said, "I want Jon Stewart in the movie," and DC said no.
Why do you think that is?
I think they want Hal Jordan.
White Green Lantern.
They wanted
you
the
go,
Ryan
Vance,
Reynolds
yeah.
type of-
Yeah.
More, but Warner Brothers has just always seemed like the enemy of DC all the time. Like that's why I like HBO Max, because HBO Max is kind of like trying to actually fight to have the Snyderverse be restored. It's just WB's putting the kibosh on it. It's nerve-wracking because I would love to see a Jon Stewart Green Lantern. He was my all-time favorite. And I felt like he was, I mean, not to knock Hal Jordan, but I just felt like Jon Stewart had a badass
He did.
vibe.
He was way better.
I got into comics when Hal Jordan went crazy and killed everybody. So my Green Lantern is Kyle Rayner. He's
Okay.
So
Now, didn't Justice League Unlimited, wasn't that a Jon Stewart?
yeah, pretty much
Yeah.
any animated Green Lantern like Justice League or whatever, they always pick Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
okay
they
with.
always chose Wally West for Flash. I always love Barry Allen. I'm a sucker for him.
I grew up with Wally as my Flash.
But
so
that actually brings something up, and Darth, I want to talk about this with you because this is your segment about new characters. What about Dr. Allen in prison? We got 2 scenes with him in this. I don't know about you, but the whole time I was watching these scenes, I'm like, oh man, I really hope we do like either a Reverse Flash or a Dr. Zoom or something in the Flash film. Because if we're establishing Barry Allen's dad is in jail for killing his mom, then there's the alley-oop for it in the Flash film. I really, really want to see that.
Yeah.
if you're gonna do it, don't make it his dad. Don't or anything to do with that. Yeah, the whole story is, the CW version is Zoom went back, killed his mom, framed the dad, all that fun stuff.
I'd like to see that in Flash film. I think that'd be cool. And then that's how they can if they want to combine Zoom and Flash into one or keep them separate, whatever they want to do. But I think that'd be a good setup to bring that into the live action.
I don't know what they're going to do with the Flash movie, considering they're going to be doing Flashpoint. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but it's going to involve a lot of time travel and a lot of alternate realities, and I don't know. I have no idea what they're going to do with it, but I would like to see a good Flash movie.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm looking forward to it. So,
and I think the director they have, I think he's a very decent director. He did It Chapter 1, which I thought was phenomenal. And I liked it. It had a Stranger Thing vibe, I know, but still. But but anyways, point is, like,
we could do another episode about the.
We could do a whole. See, here's the thing.
So,
John and I know each other long enough where we're like, all right, this is an episode. We can't turn this episode into a Flash episode.
So I've also got like 9 other characters that have been either introduced or expanded or removed or needed to be added.
All right, list them off, Darth. What do we got?
So then we've also got at the very end where the new head of Star Labs is going to Ryan Choi, which is going to be the Atom, which is awesome.
Yeah, I forgot he had a little cameo.
Just a very little, just a quick nod to that character, which is great. Also, we already talked about Iris West. Mira's extended scenes, especially in the nightmare sequence, was awesome.
Yeah.
Adding everybody into the nightmare sequence. The Joker was great. Just adding him in, giving him a little bit more darker tones, makes me want to see a Batfleck Joker movie. Just to go back and see what he means about the death of Robin. How did he kill him? What, all that just good stuff.
I'm sorry, Darth. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
The Deathstroke scene, great. The whole new the Nightmare Collective people that they brought together for that final fight scene is going to be awesome if they ever do it.
Yeah.
Also, talking about new characters, let's talk about Darkseid. Desaad, Granny Goodness, the reimagining of Steppenwolf, all phenomenal. Much better than what we had.
Yeah, absolutely. Steppenwolf's redesign was great. Darkseid, at first, I didn't like it, but about 30 minutes in or so, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, Ryan, yeah, look, let's just say, I just need to say something about Joker real quick, okay? I loved the speech. I thought the speech was fantastic. There was tons of exposition there that was great. I love the concept of them coming to a truce, but understanding that one of them is going to stab each other in the back the moment they can. And, I liked that. I just don't like Jared Leto, however the fuck you pronounce his last name.
I think we all agree.
Who? Somebody brought up the laugh. Ryan brought up the laugh. It's just like he's like, like, dude, are you a dying seal? Like, I mean, what is that? I don't know.
He sounds like the Mars attacked aliens in slow motion.
Yeah, I told Vance that honestly, if they had just put face paint on Mark Hamill, they could have sat his ass on that car and he could have read those lines way better. So
but see, that's the complaint everybody has is the laugh. It's the laugh of the Joker. All right, okay. That's one thing that you've been like, okay, that's done and out of the way. Everything else about that Joker, and especially we saw in that scene, was fantastic. The scene when the Joker when he portrayed the Joker as afraid for 10 seconds, that was fantastic.
It really was.
When you have a actor the caliber of Jared Leto, just let him fucking do it, man. Just let him fucking be the Joker, all right? Oh, sorry,
and we got Batfleck to drop the F-bomb, which was great. Like, that was beautiful.
Believe me, I'll fucking kill you.
It's like, I will fucking... And Joker's like, oh, shit, for that, like, second. Like, maybe he's serious. How about a truce?
But real fast, for viewers who aren't aware, when John does this sound, that's when he's disagreeing and he's not waiting to jump in just yet, but he's revving the motor up, getting ready to, kick it in the gear. That's
anytime he does that now, I put this in our little blurb for this episode that anytime he does the Wonder Woman lamentation will start playing in our heads. That's immediately what's going to happen. As soon as he goes, that's it. It's off.
So, okay, getting back on topic here.
Yes.
So a couple other ones. A character that I still think that needed to be added. They've referenced her in Man of Steel, and they also referenced her again in Justice League, is Supergirl.
Yep, totally agree. I thought we were going to see her, man.
We know a Kryptonian is on Earth somewhere. Her pod in Superman's spaceship pod, whatever. There was an open pod. All the other pods have dead Kryptonians in it. There's one pod out there that was opened and it's empty. They keep referencing it. It's got to be Supergirl.
I agree.
So, and then of course the last thing is the super fetus. Did anyone else notice the pregnancy test with Lois Lane? The fetus.
Why do we keep doing domesticated with kids Superman? Like, stop it. We've done it a couple of times. That's good enough. Like, we don't need to keep doing this shit. Like,
do you want Superman to pass her a kryptonite plan B? Like, what do you want? I need you to swallow this stone.
Swallow this kryptonite pill and you will not be pregnant any longer.
The morning after.
A Kryptonian edition. It's on like a shiny green foil package.
She goes to a jewelry store. You got any kryptonite at all? I just need a little flake.
Just a little flake.
It's a NyQuil capsule.
It's a NyQuil.
It's liquid kryptonite. It glows and shit.
Yeah.
But does that mean we answered the question from Mallrats?
Yes.
Superman would blow a load through her back like a shotgun. I mean, we've been through this before. How can we have the super fetus? It's going to blast right out of her.
I love the Family Guy episode where he goes to pick up Lois for a date and he uses his X-ray vision and she's pregnant and shows the little baby in there. He's like, "Oh, sorry, something came up. I gotta go." And he's flies out the window, never to come back again.
So I guess instead of the father Superman, let's do a Lothario. Just somebody who's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" You know what I mean?
I mean, is Superman gonna fly his kid to like daycare and be like, "Here, you gotta take him. I gotta go," and like fly back away? Like, what does this
He has
look
a
like?
nuke in one hand and he has a kid in the other hand.
Right.
Oh, here, take my kid. I gotta get rid of
Take this baby. I gotta get rid of this thing. 10 seconds.
But yeah, the super fetus is out there now.
Oh God, stop doing that. We got it in a TV show. We got it in Returns. Like, we don't need it in this movie.
Yeah,
stop doing
Superman should be a father.
No.
So
Kal-El doesn't have to fucking be a human in every fucking thing. He's allowed to be a goddamn alien. He doesn't have to be a damn human.
John. He wants to be a
That's
human.
arguable, Darth. That is arguable, but we'll save that until our Superman segment comes up.
So, all right. And then, of course, it's not really a character, but it was a total badass thing to see. And this brings us to Jesse's point, Jesse's subject. We got to see the Dark Knight Returns Batmobile, the Bat Tank, and it was glorious. And from what I understand, I haven't gone back and watched it again.
It was really
he apparently has the mutants tied up in front of the Bat Tank. So I gotta rewatch that scene just to see what's going on. Yes, the Dark Knight Returns.
I love that cover right there.
Of course you do, John. It's got Superman on it.
Yeah. but anyways, love it. Yeah, this Batman, that was what was missing in the Whedon cut. He made Batman kind of an imbecile, in my opinion.
And
I
cracking too many jokes. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, here's the thing. Batman can be jokey, but he's sardonic. He's not really, he's sarcastic. You know what I mean? Like the one scene that really captured Batman's humor in the Snyder cut that I love, this is Alfred. I work for him. You know, it was a shot at Alfred because Alfred always bosses him around, tells him what to do all the time. And it's just a really kind of jab because Batman and Alfred, they jab at each other all the time. And a lot of the lines that Snyder uses are ripped from the comic books. So that's what I enjoyed. So having him be jokey, like he's like, "Hey guys, I'm fucking," you know, I was like, don't do that. You know what I mean? But having him, he was able to have an arc in the story. He started out in, Batman vs Superman. He was lost as a hero. He just lost Robin. You know, he lost his son essentially. We were seeing a mourning father killing people because, I mean, you have a moral code, but you're someone who's like a son to you gets murdered, you lose your friggin' mind a little bit.
Absolutely.
And in the Batman, and for people that are like, "Oh, he doesn't kill." In Dark Knight Returns, he killed some people. All right, let's just be honest here. He friggin' killed some people. If anything, Zack Snyder toned it down like a lot. But point is, you know, he gave a good reason for the killing. It was mourning. He was sad, and then Superman restored hope in him. And by the time he had that conversation with Martian Manhunter, he made his parents proud. He brought together the greatest hero alliance ever to save the Earth and all that stuff. He honored his parents' promise to never let something bad happen to anybody else. I mean, because at the end of the day, Batman is this child who just doesn't want something as bad to happen. He made a promise to his parents that he wouldn't let this happen again. And he kept it. And I just thought that was a very beautiful scene. It was very beautiful. So, and the fact that he was kicking ass, you know what I mean? He wasn't getting thrown around like a little bitch the entire time. I'm like, Batman doesn't get thrown around a little bitch. And if he gets thrown around a little bitch, he throws them right back. And that's what we got for this. So thank you so much, Zack Snyder, for restoring Batman and setting up the Ben Affleck movie, which, God, just give it to us, because it's supposed to be Deathstroke haunting Batman, essentially, and ruining him. And they set it up, and I'm like, I want it. That's all I'm going to say. But they restored a lot of characters besides Batman. They restored Cyborg, gave him an important role, gave him an origin story, gave him this purpose. He was the heart of the story. I mean, this is a kid who lost his mother, his father. He lost his entire body, died and reborn, and all in this short amount of time. You know,
and then didn't trust his own body either.
Didn't trust his own body. Yeah. and he was tempted by the mother boxes to be normal again. And he went through this full transformation, like, no, this is who I am, and I'm going to honor my father. And boom, great storyline. And we already talked to Flash, so I'm not going to get retread that real quick. But and Lois Lane was given just some more importance than she was before, you know, like, because that was the thing in the Batman versus Superman movie. In the first cut, she was just kind of there. The Snyder cut of the Batman versus Superman movie, she was the reason that whole entire thing got solved, uncovering Lex Luthor's setup for Superman in the desert. I don't want to get too long-winded, but this whole entire movie, as we said, gave the characters they fleshed them out the way they were supposed to be.
Totally.
And it was beautiful. It was just it was beautiful. But yeah, what are your guys' comments? Let's check out the comment section and see what we have. Movie didn't do anything to improve on my opinion on Lex Luthor Eisenberg. Yeah, I understand. And like I said, I would say the problem is he came off too flary and jokey in the first movie. Here's the thing. I actually thought he can do it, because if you watch what was the one movie? Social Network.
Oh, yeah. That was good. I like that.
If he would have played it a little bit like how he did Zuckerberg, I mean, it wouldn't have been the greatest Lex Luthor, but it would have been like, all right, he's game.
I do want to say one thing real quick, and I'm just going to throw it out there. Andrew Garfield's portrayal in that film, it was better than Jesse Eisenberg. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Hell, shave that dude's head. You know what I mean? Like, you know. Dude.
Andrew Garfield is Lex Luthor.
You know what? I have faith in that dude. I think if he really wanted it. Listen, we've seen comedians become the Dark Knight. We've seen teen heartthrobs become the Joker. We've seen it all. Yeah, I mean, I would be 100% sure.
Yes, there was a moment in time where girls wanted to sleep with Jared Leto. Maybe not.
No, I'm talking about Heath Ledger, man. Up your standards. Up your fucking standards.
I thought we went back to Jared again, man.
You would give it up for Leto? Ew.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
That explains a lot, John. That explains a lot.
Band again, then I might. If he was singing in that band again, sure.
Back in Freaks and Geeks, man. I mean, you know, he was getting it. Come on now, seriously.
Yeah. I mean, that's true. That's true. So, Jesse, anything to add to Batman and Dark Knight?
Nothing. The fact that Snyder said it all. Oh yeah, Snyder said it all.
Making fun of Vance and his camera. Did you see that comment that he made?
Yeah.
What was it?
Put it back up.
This is the only monster that has it.
You know what? Here's the thing. I know Vance knows he can turn his phone that way. I know he's doing it to be a contrarian. I know he's doing it to, and he has a cigar, so he can go, yeah, it's sideways. What do I get?
The way the stand works, man. You know what? I'm not fighting the stand. Come on.
Yeah, the old gods. Oh yeah, that was something we also forgot. Zeus. We had Artemis. We had oh god, Hades.
Yeah, Hades was in there.
Ares.
Sorry, I'm a jackass. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah, that was also another thing we had in there that we didn't have before, so that was pretty cool.
Really cool. I like seeing young Zeus in there kicking ass. Like, that was awesome. That was really cool. I almost wanted a whole movie of that. Like,
we were gonna get that. We were
an Old Gods movie.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
We were gonna get a lot of shit.
Oh
dude.
man, I would watch that.
We were gonna get an old gods. We were gonna get new gods. We were gonna get. We were robbed, my friend. We were robbed. Yeah, I know. But let's jump on to the next segment, because there's one character I was kind of we gotta get into Vance's segment real fast. So we gotta get to that. So Vance, I know we kind of been talking about it. He's grinning already. He's locked and loaded.
He's been waiting for this for a week. Trust me, we had several hour-long conversations already about it. He's ready to go.
My opinion, I think it's a beautiful narrative. I want to throw that out there. But Vance, you killer, let's see what you got.
Go ahead, Vance.
So when we get to this idea that this was the true vision of Snyder and what he wanted to do and what he was looking for, oh, good sleeve, John. Just get out.
Yeah, John doesn't care. He's like,
we
It's
already
Vance.
had this
no
conversation.
one cares.
He just freaking left.
What?
As soon as
Got
he
up as soon as I
started,
walking.
you just got up. It was the fucking shit.
Well, I wanted
ever.
to fix the lighting. Doesn't it look better now?
Yeah, sure you want to fix the lighting.
I was still listening. Like, come on.
Anyways, Vance, go
Ever
back
heard of
to it.
multitasking? Shit. Continue,
All right,
man.
Vance, go back.
All right. So, this idea that this was the vision that he had 40 plus years ago that he was going to have us watch is the biggest load of fucking shit that probably outside of a manure truck you are probably ever going to find. There has not been a 4-hour movie released in this country in over 40 years. Novocento, if you're curious, by the way. He was never getting a 4-hour fucking release. He was going to get some other version of this abortion that we saw 4 years ago that was, yeah, I literally went there. That was just this horrific, terrible thing that we all had to pay money and sit through. This is realistically, he was still going to get 2 hours, maybe 2 hours 15. He was going to have some chopped up version because he took on way too many big storylines and tried to mold them into one movie. And we've already gone over a lot of that already. John's going to get into it in a minute, but you're tying up probably 4 really big DC stories into one movie.
Sure. This should have been, if they were all separate movies, they could have built up to this one and then used the time more wisely.
Right. So we were never going to get this version in a theater. That was never going to happen. They'd already kiboshed the idea of a 2-movie release. So this is going to be back into some condensed, weird, messed up 2-hour version that wasn't going to work on the big screen. Just as a quick example, and this is not the first guy it's ever happened to. In 1984, Once Upon a Time in America came out. It was a 229-minute film that Sergio Leone did, and it's beautiful. It's fantastic. If you ever watch it. When it got released in America, it got down to 129 minutes.
Oh, God.
It got killed, and it wasn't until like 2 years later that Z Channel ran the full version, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, this is a magnificent movie. This is a movie of tragedy and disaster of characters who have their soul torn out." And when you watch it, you're like, "Wow, this is really it." Again, he was not going to get a 4-hour version. He probably wasn't going to get a 3-hour version. When this started filming, all the Batman versus Superman fallout started to happen. The week 2 drop in ticket sales was horrendous. Warner Brothers was already in full fucking panic mode. So when you get your typical Warner Brothers bullshit, and when you go into the Wikipedia page for the production of this, it's pretty fantastic. Just how ridiculous, how they didn't change the release date so that Warner Brothers execs could get their bonuses before the AT&T buyout happened. Oh, that's the hallmark of great movie making. Let's not wait until we can put a good movie out. Let's make sure everyone gets their bonuses. It's just an idea that he was never going to make this version of the film. He was going to get a bad version. This allowed him, and let's face it, COVID really saved his ass. If there's one positive that came out of COVID is that people are getting really used now to sitting on their asses at home watching, burning through 25 episodes or something. So they're already getting used to sitting for 4 hours of there. But no, I'm sorry. He'd already decided to go down this path of trying to fit 4 big storylines into a movie. It was going to be just as bad as Watchmen. I'm going to go ahead and open that box right now, where he's just like, okay, too much. You can't do it. You have to wait for some multiple release version that was going to have to come out years later. And this was it. Like the Batman versus Superman extended cut. All right, we're already getting these extended cuts. How about this releasing the actual damn cut? And again, he has gotten into this kind of trouble before with Watchmen. He took on a project that was way too big that really couldn't fit into a movie. He did this again, trying to fit. Really, even Batman versus Superman was two big storylines they were trying to force into one, and really didn't work into one movie. Let's not try to make that kind of.
Darth.
I got fans, man. I got fans.
I know he's the most popular guy around.
Go ahead and finish
But,
your thought, Vance, because I do want
yeah,
to respond to it, but I want you to finish.
And I made this analogy to John the other day. This is like two guys fucking the same fleshlight, all right? And then a longer, deeper version comes out 4 years later, and the one guy's like, "Well, I could fuck the hell out of this fleshlight. It's a different fleshlight. It's longer. You could fuck it more." Wow, look at the reaction on Jesse's face.
Let's just
Yeah,
hope
I
they
had that
clean
moment.
it before they hand it off to each other, okay? It's not just
All right,
one or
hold on.
the other. Like there's a cleaning and then it's a handoff.
Every moment in one of these I do, I always wanted to get Jesse into some kind of reaction, and boy, that was
Well,
No,
congrats,
but,
you got it. I was like,
So,
whoa.
Vance, you know,
And never-
Flashlights now.
I don't
Never say-
disagree with what you're saying. I mean, what you're saying is absolutely true. We know there was never going to be a 4-hour version. I think that with what the Infinity War was like 2.5, and Endgame was 3 hours. So I think Zack Snyder could have squeezed 2.5 hours out of Warner Brothers if he had to. Would it have still been hacked up? Absolutely. But again, we kind of go back to that. If this had been properly built up and had the time, then we wouldn't be needing a 4-hour to cram it all in. We would have, all that stuff would have already been established. We could have just focused on what we need to focus on in this movie. But there was something else that we brought up, that you'd brought up, where, you know, this is going to be a slippery slope because, well, why doesn't Whedon, you know, get his 4-hour cut? Well, that's because the motherfucker's hiding right now because everyone's coming after his ass. But I will say, did you see? Ayer was so trying to get to do his own cut of Suicide Squad because he complained so much about how bad Warner Brothers screwed that movie up, and I don't even think anything could save that movie. It was shit. I'm just gonna say it. It was shit.
The original thing for Suicide Squad, I'd pay for it. I'd watch it.
Yeah, me too. They had a lot of great Harley stuff, essentially,
Because the
and I
bad
got
guy
mad
was Joker and Harley. It had nothing to do with Enchantress.
But my point is that Warner Brothers already shot that shit down. So it's not creating this slippery slope of this. And, you know, we already talked about the Donner cut, which Vance and I were talking about, that's another example. Now, it's a little bit different how Donner actually got cast out, had no choice in the matter, whereas Zack Snyder did have a choice as a terrible family tragedy. So a little bit different how it happened, but it's the same concept. You had a guy who started it, who didn't get to finish it. Someone else came in, fucked it all up. And so now original guy wants to be like, hey, I want my shot. So I was okay with that. But yeah, I agree. He was never going to get 4 hours. Never. But
there's a part of there's a part of the studio system that is going to always be this churn out as many.
How many people can you get in the theater, and how many movies can you show to get more money? Like it's all a machine. That's how it all works.
And the box office disappointment in Batman versus Superman guaranteed he was not going to get 3 hours. He would have been lucky to get 2:15, quite honestly, because they were going to max out. This wasn't in game. This wasn't going to be this monster, killer, because we'd already been disappointed walking in with Batman versus Superman.
You know what I will say I'm glad we got, though? I'm glad they left that scene in at the end with Aquaman where he jumps on that parademon and he goes through that building and pops out the front door, and Jason Momoa is just like flips the hair around and like slams the staff down. I'm like, that's the shot right there. I'm glad they left that in. I always liked that shot. Always thought it was cool. I know it's not really Arthur, but you know what? It looked dope, and I'm glad they kept it in there.
That was more Thor.
That would have been more Thor. Yep, you're right. That's a Thor move right there. But he was surfing on the parademon, and surfing requires water, so it's close enough, okay?
Yeah, that's why they named Thor Point Break.
Yes. Good point.
Oh, shit, that's great.
All right, I'm done.
Real quick, I think one of the things that worked in favor of this this cut is how episodic it was as well. Because you always hear people can watch, a certain TV show 8 hours straight and not have a problem. Then you say, hey, let's watch this 3-hour movie. They'll get that like, I don't know if I have, you know what I mean? It's because it's one singular storyline. With this, broken up in parts, each part had a goal. Each part had something either A, the characters needed to do, B, something that exposition need to be shown to you or see, so you felt rewarded every time you hit part 1, part 2, part 3. And I think that's what made the 4 hours for me at least easy, because I think when you have that fan and you reward fans like what Marvel does. Marvel
also
rewards
gave
fans.
you a good breaking point.
What?
Yeah.
Also gave you a good break point.
It gave you a good break point. So I think it was really good. I think, he wasn't going to get a 4 hour cut, but I think this is his true vision, because if he had his way and he could move hell and high waters, all that stuff, he would have made this 4 hour movie, which at the end of the day, I'm okay with content like that. I'm good with it. As long as you can, I always say this with time frame. This is the last thing I'll say because I want to get to John's segment. If you have amount of time, if you can carry it, go right ahead. Carry it all the way home. Okay, that's like with comedians. All right, I don't care how funny you are. Can you be funny for 30 minutes? Can you carry the 30? Can you carry the 60? Can you carry? If you can carry it, God bless. Go get it. But that's all I'll say on the matter. Any other closing thoughts before we move on to John's favorite part of the
I was just wondering if this is the Snyder cut of the grown-ups table. Are we going to run 4 hours?
I wish.
I actually mentioned that 10% of this will be in slow motion.
Yeah.
So you have to wrap up in a little bit and start slowing down. But anyways, let's get over to John. John, we're going to talk about it. Let's talk, I got to talk about my Batman. You get to talk about your Superman. So let's hear it, John.
Before I run into my tirade on Superman that I promised to stay on time.
Sorry, I had to do it.
Real
For
quick.
the first time ever, stay on.
Real quick, I did just want to mention that I love that this movie was kind of turned into Cyborg's story. I cared about Cyborg. I love to learn about Cyborg. Miles Dyson played his dad, which is fantastic. So, I mean, it was awesome. There were still some clarity issues here and there, but overall it was way more flushed out. Cyborg actually did things that mattered. You learn about him, you care about him, and I love the dynamic with him and Flash. I would pay to watch a Flash and Cyborg movie any day. You put that movie together with those two actors, I will gladly pay money and go watch that.
100.
I know we didn't delve too deep into Cyborg. To be honest, I loved it so much that I want people to go watch it for that reason. Because I could spend a whole episode talking about Cyborg, but I'd rather have people watch it and experience it. Because when you watch the Whedon cut, it's just like, okay, Cyborg's here. When you watch this cut, it's like, holy shit, this is the main character. And I really enjoyed that. I really, truly, honestly did. And that was part of the motivation that helped me go through the 4 hour, epicness of watching the film was I cared so much about Cyborg and I wanted more. It was great. But I'm going to go ahead and bring the show out. We've got 3 minutes. I'm going to extend it probably 2 more to 5. Here's my rant about Superman and Justice League. 4 hour movie, and we don't get Superman until the 3rd of the 4th hour.
What? I mean, he was dead for 3 of the 4 hours.
Okay. Pause. Shouldn't have been fucking dead to begin with, because we should have never shoehorned Death of Superman into the end of Batman vs. Superman. That's the whole problem. Justice League is already established when the Doomsday shit goes down. It's not forming after. It's already there. So we shouldn't have done Death of Superman until we were able to do this first Justice League film. So that's already the problem. Second, we still did the stupid fucking boxes to bring him back to life, a.k.a. Infinity Stones. Let's call them what they are, people. They're the fucking Infinity Stones. The boxes was the stupidest thing ever. I always hated that. I still hated it, but I accepted it because I enjoyed the movie more. So, we don't even get fucking Superman, the guy, the one guy. We don't even get him until the very end. And then we put him in the black suit. Okay, cool. Way to not explain that at all, but whatever. So we get him in the black suit. He shows up. He's hyped up. He's supercharged, and he kicks fucking ass. He cuts off one of Steppenwolf's horns. It was amazing. He's just beating the fucking shit out of him so that Cyborg and Flash can do their thing with the boxes. Loved it. I waited 3.5 hours to see Superman kick some ass. And he finally came in and kicked some ass. But again, you took the guy, the number one, and you put him in the final quarter of your movie. I was a little bummed about that. Yeah, he's already dead, but let's get him back in here earlier and like do some shit with him. So I was a little bummed about that. Number two, why is he still wearing the black suit in the epilogue when Zack Snyder finally, after 3 movies of having Superman in there, he finally gives us a shot of Clark Kent changing into Superman? Look, this is a staple of Superman. People want to see the change gag. They want to see how creative we can watch Clark Kent go into Superman. That's a thing. And it didn't get it until the very end. And I got really excited because I knew it was coming. I'm like, here we go. And it was lame. Like, he's just like, oh. And I'm like, what? This couldn't be more exciting. And then it's the black suit. Why is he still wearing the black suit? Oh, this really bothered me. And moreover, with Superman, we still have not gotten in my opinion, a accurate Superman in live action. I've seen a lot of people on some Facebook pages and websites talking about how Superman and Lois is the most comic accurate Superman. I couldn't disagree more. I asked them what books they were referencing and they couldn't answer, so clearly they have no idea what they were talking about. And yes, I've participated in several of these conversations because I want to know. I want to know what they read that I didn't read that get them to say that, because I don't agree. And then they can't.
20-some-year-old kids crying.
No, they're grown adults. And I'm just like, what book are you referencing? And they're like, well, it's all books. I'm like, no, it's not. Which one are you referencing? And they can't do it. So again, we still haven't had a correct Superman on film or TV yet. We've gotten close, but we haven't got it yet because it's about Kal-El. Superman is just what humans call him, okay? And Clark Kent isn't real because, Vance, I'm going to reference our favorite scene out of Kill Bill. You know, that's the costume. That's the disguise. That's his critique of humanity. So even though Clark Kent exists on paper and people call him Clark, he's not fucking Clark. He's Kal-El. Superman is Kal-El. And we have not gotten an accurate Kal-El on anything yet. And it's starting to piss me off because it's there. It's in the fucking pages of the book. Okay? They're there. Just fucking make it. And at this point, I would be cool with a Birthright film because I think that's the best modern, updated telling of Superman that kind of balances everything. I've got some issues with it, but I could get over that for them making that film into a live action film. Yeah. So it really chaps my ass when I see people talk about this, and I'm like, but what are you referencing? Because I don't agree because you're not providing an example. And so that tells me people are just talking out of their ass. I'm being critical of it because Superman is my favorite. I got his tattoo. I got his clothes. I watch all of his movies. I mean, it's my dude. Okay. And just like everybody here wants a great Green Lantern movie and a great Deathstroke movie and a great Batman movie, I want a great Superman movie, and we haven't had one. I'm sorry. I love Christopher Reeve. In my opinion, he was still going to be Superman to me because that's how I grew up on. But that's like so far removed from Superman, it's not even funny. So it's not like more accurately correct. I want to see the fucker on screen like way more correct in Kal-El. I'm tired of not getting any Kal-El. We get too much Clark Kent, not enough Superman because he's either crying or he lost his powers or some shit. And then we just leave Kal-El just poof off in the distance.
I'm just imagining Christopher Walken coming up and saying, I want more Kal-El.
Look, guys, this film is great. And look, your acting is beautiful, but we need more Kal-El.
Kal-El. I got a fever.
I got a fever. And the only prescription is more Kal-El. So
I agree with you. I agree.
That's my beef with it, is you took the guy, and again, you shoehorned him into the end. And yes, he kicked ass. But it was just like, you kept him in the black suit for no reason. You didn't do anything with him to develop him. And I will say, I liked the little end scene in the Whedon cut where Superman and Flash were racing. I thought that was poignant, and that was kind of beautiful. And I understand why it's not in this film, but I would have liked to have seen it because I did like it. To me, that was very touching, and I would have liked to have seen that. So there's my rant on Superman, guys. Look, it's my favorite, and we just haven't got it yet. And look, if people want to light me up, that's fine. Go ahead. But I don't think I'm wrong in what I'm saying. So
no, I don't.
Tell me
think
the book.
you are.
Tell me the books so I know what you're referencing. Because when you say it's the best and you can't produce the book you're talking about, then I don't know what you're talking about. So
yep. And that's the thing. I produced my books, so I that's why I brought them right here.
There you go.
But no, you're absolutely correct, man. But hey, that's gonna wrap up our time.
Hold on, I would like a rebuttal.
We're gonna extend here a little bit, maybe 5 more minutes max. Hang with us, guys.
Mine's gonna be real quick. John,
I know Darth is gonna hit me on some shit.
You're a Power Rangers fan, right?
Yes.
You love the Power Rangers. I know you do because
I do. I prefer Super Sentai versus Power Rangers, but yes, I like the show and the concept.
You want Power Rangers. So Power Rangers, there's a monster. They fight. They can't quite beat them. They make the monster really big. Then they have to bring all the Zords together, create this giant robot, kill it.
Yeah,
takes the whole episode.
Yeah, because they got to sell toys.
The whole reason why the whole story with Darkseid coming back to get the mother boxes and get the anti-life equation. Only reason why they're coming now is because Superman's gone. Superman was the only thing that Darkseid was afraid of, the Kryptonian. They referenced it multiple times.
Sure.
So if you bring back Superman in the first 30 minutes, what the fuck are they going to do for the last 3.5 hours?
Yeah, I don't think he needed to be brought back that early, but he definitely shouldn't have been shoehorned into the last quarter.
That's the only way it would be would make sense.
I don't know, man. Here's the thing:
the black suit. Hold on, the black suit.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You have your big fight scene, your big reveal, your big thing at the very end. It's the only way it makes sense. Storytelling, that's how it works. That's the only way it works. And my last thing I'm going to say is Man of Steel is the best version of Superman they've done live action. And because they do more Kal-El than they do Clark Kent. Clark Kent, the actual Clark Kent that we know of,
why did he
get introduced until the very end?
Oh. Way to rip that off.
Way to rip it off.
John,
look, I don't know what movie
we can talk after the show.
Kal-El was only in that movie for about 20 minutes. It was all Clark Kent.
Kal-El was the whole movie.
I disagree.
The actual character of Clark Kent did not get introduced until the very end.
I fundamentally disagree, but that's okay. We're allowed to.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to suggest something. June 12th was declared Superman Day by DC Comics.
Yeah.
So, because I know this is going to spring a huge conversation, but I am willing to do a special episode to squash this beef because I would love to see this debate.
Let's do it, and we're going to talk about Superman 3 on that show too.
Cool. That means I have to watch Superman 3 for the first time.
Sorry, I was shorting out and resetting there. My bad.
I know.
But I do agree. I mean, there is storytelling involved, which is the reason why he needs to come in later. But I understand where John's coming from with the how it hurts the fandom a little bit. Because, like, for me, like, that's how I kind of felt with what was it? There was can't remember which it was. Like Suicide Squad, I thought Batman should have been a little bit in there more because like there's some storylines where he just he's trying to do good. He's against the whole idea of the Suicide Squad. He's against that with Amanda Waller. And I wish there was just a little bit more of that. A great example is Assault on Arkham, the anime movie. If you haven't seen it, check
Oh, I
that
just
out.
watched that. That was great. I loved that.
Yeah. So like something like that. Like he's not in it a lot, but just enough. Like I
Yeah.
felt like they could have did a little bit more with him. But again,
So-
I let it go
look.
because I was like, you know what? Suicide Squad has a story to tell. Gotta let it go.
Look, here's what they could have done. Put him in the black suit, no cape, let him do his thing. All that's fine. But he could have been in the black suit an hour earlier doing Kal-El shit, like helping them figure out some science and figure out some answers, and let's bring scientist Kryptonian Kal-El into the mix, and we could have figured some shit out together and then moved into the ending. Like, I just feel like it was a missed opportunity to really have Kal-El in there doing Kal-El shit. That's what I wanted to see. And we never get to see that. It's always Superman or Clark. It's never Kal-El. So, but I will say the Donner cut of Superman 2 does a great job of showing Kal-El. And Darth, I can't agree with you. I don't think Man of Steel is Kal-El. I think it's Clark, man.
Again, to each their own.
Sure.
The conversation
I'd
will be
love to talk
continued
about it more.
on Superman Day.
Yeah. Too bad it's still COVID, because we could go to Metropolis, Illinois, where they do a celebration that weekend for Superman Day, which is awesome. So maybe next year we can do a live show from there.
Well, why don't you get your fucking shot, John? Darth's already got his. Get your goddamn
Hey,
shot.
I get my first shot on Friday, guys. So
Yeah,
There we go. There
we're
we
getting
go.
there.
Well, that's all the time we got here at the Grown Ups Table. I want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
You guys are the real rock stars. If you didn't get to catch the whole episode, don't worry. You can like and subscribe us on YouTube and watch new episodes all the time, as well as cool content that we put in throughout the entire week. Make sure you like our Facebook page as well. You know, the more you like, that helps us get out there in the algorithm, because, hey, sharing is caring, all right? That's what we were taught when we were kids. Simple as that. But I want to thank Vance, the producer, and Darth Gronick for coming on in. Thank you so much. You guys are always fantastic. I want to thank Ryan, Jim, Mike. Let's see, who else? Oh, yeah, I already said Mike.
Ryan.
Oh, that's a different Mike. Yeah, other Ryan for joining us and lighting up the comment sections. There's a lot that I'm doing here, man. There's a lot of production, but I love them all. So thank you guys so much. And make sure you tune in next week, Wednesday, 7 o'clock. That's where we always are for new episodes. And check out our Facebook poster coming soon, and it will be just as goofy. Yes.
So next week's episode is actually a debate with Ryan Francis and myself. I am on the side of Deep Impact. Ryan is on the side of Armageddon. We're doing straight up debate style. It's going to be a fantastic episode.
So check out those movies, everybody. Check them out. It's gonna be one hell of a time.
Is the moderator going to be able to shut off the person's mic when they go over their
We've
time?
already talked about the rules. We're going to demonstrate what a real debate
Like
is.
that. We just kind of, just like that. We got this.
All right.
But anyways, until next time, I'm Jesse.
And I'm John.
And you've been sitting at the grown-ups table. Thank you and have an awesome night, everybody. Take care.
Night, everybody.
Night, everyone.